Egypt is the first African nation to play in a World Cup. That was back in 1934 when they boarded a boat to Italy, lost to Hungary, and came home devastated to let the continent down. No African nation would play in a World Cup again for 36 years, and for nearly a century, every Egyptian player who put on their jersey carried the weight of everyone who came before them and didn't get there. The man who finished with those 1934 players started is Hossam Hassan, Egypt's all-time top scorer, 176 caps, and 3 African Cup of Nations as a player. And if you want to understand what he means to this country, you have to understand what happened when he transferred from Al Ahly to Zamalek. People have compared Al Ahly against Zamalek to Real Madrid versus Barcelona, but many will argue that it doesn't even come close because it's not just about football. Al Ahly was founded as a team for the people, a direct act of resistance against British occupation. The name itself literally means the national. Zamalek was founded 4 years later by a Belgian lawyer as a club where foreigners and Egyptian elites can mix. So we have one club that was built as a symbol of who Egypt was fighting for and the other as a symbol of who Egypt was fighting against. Today, both sides are working class, but people have been split down the middle for generations. I've personally seen it where people won't sit in the same room during a match. So when Hossam crossed that line, the country had no idea what to do with itself. And then he went out and won trophies for both sides, which somehow makes it better and worse at the same time. When Egypt appointed him as a coach in 2024, the people who loved him most weren't sure he was right for the job. He went into AFCON earlier this year, lost on penalties to Nigeria, and the press conferences afterwards were such a hard watch. He talked about jealousy from other nations, went on to blame mosquitoes, and he wasn't graceful about it by any means, and everybody said so. Hossam came to this World Cup with all of that still attached to his name. And at halftime last night, Egypt were losing 1-0. The watch party I was at got quiet, people were sighing with frustration, and I was coming to terms with the fact that we might just be watching it slip away again. There is nobody outside that locker room who knows what Hossam said. Nobody who knows what he found in himself to give them in those 15 minutes. What we know is that the team that walked back out was not the same team that walked in. Egypt scored 3 times in the second half and didn't at all look like a side that had been losing. What Hossam Hassan gave this program spans more than just his statistics. He was a teenager in this setup, then Egypt's most dangerous striker for 20 years, then a 40-year-old refusing to leave, and then the man in the dugout being told that he didn't belong there. Every time his role changed, his commitment never did. Hossam lived with a knowing that there's something unfinished and that he's not willing to walk away until it's done. So thank you, Hossam, for allowing us to witness the unprecedented. This Egyptian first World Cup win belongs to everyone who waited.